Today we're doing lesson 31 and it's word problems about comparing. So my first example that I have here, and this is in your book again if you want to follow along. It says, Andrea picked 42 apples at the apple orchard. Her younger brother picked 13 apples. How many more apples did Andrea pick than her brother? Now we've already done some problem solving like this a while ago when it was adding and subtracting. Do you remember what I ask you to use anytime we do a problem solving type problem? It's right above the smartboard. What are you supposed to use?
Cubes.
Cubes, very good. So cubes, I'm going to write that over here on the side as a reminder. What do I circle? I circle the numbers, very good. Now, do I have any numbers that are spelled out in word form? A lot of times those are missed, but do I have any?
No.
No. Okay, now I want to underline key words. So, wait, no, underline the question. Where is my question, Lena? Very good. And now I'm going to box my keywords. So her younger brother picked 13 apples. How many more? That is a key phrase for what operation? You guys have it in the back of your math journal if you ever want to use it. You've got a list of keywords in the back of your journal, not your book. Does anybody have their math journal with them?
No. Yeah.
In the very back of your math journal, we glued in this very special page, and it has all of your problem-solving keywords right here. So it has key phrases, keywords, everything you need to know. Okay, Katie, do you see one on here that matches what I just boxed? I boxed in how many more? Oh, what? So what operation am I using? What operation do I use? What box is it under? It's in which box? Subtraction. Good. So how many more is a key phrase for subtraction? It's right there on your page in the back of your journal if you need it, okay? How many more apples did Andrea pick than her brother? So what that means is that I'm taking a larger number, 42, I'm going to subtract a smaller number, 13, and that's going to give me my answer. So Andrea picked 29 more apples than her brother. Does everybody understand this question?
Yes.
Okay, we've got to break it down. You've got to make sure you circle those numbers if they stand out to you, and you've got to make sure you understand those key phrases. Use your journal to help you if you need. Okay, here's another example. There were 17 apples in a basket and 63 apples in a barrel. How many fewer apples were in the basket than were in the barrel? Okay, first I would start by circling my numbers, underlining my question, whoops, and then boxing in key words. Do I have any key words or key phrases? Chase.
How many fewer?
How many fewer? And if I were to look at that cheat sheet that I have in my journal, where would how many fewer be? Subtraction. Very good. So how many more was in there, but how many fewer could also be in there too. So it's subtraction. And if it's not listed there, guys, is there space where you can add in new phrases? Yes. There is, and you should. Okay? You should always add in things that pop up. So I'm going to take my larger amount again, 63 minus 17. That gives me my answer. So there are 46 fewer apples in the basket than were in the barrel. Okay, here's another example. The number represented by point B is how much greater than the number represented by point A. Okay, so I've got how much greater than the number represented by point A. If I'm talking about how much greater, that would be like a key phrase. What would I do? Addition, subtraction, subtract. Yeah, I'm going to subtract again. A lot of times when you see like how much more, how much less, how much greater, that means you're going to be using some subtraction, okay? So we see the point A represents what number? I have 20 to 30, so right here in the middle is 25. So where would A be? 26. So this is 26. Point B is representing what number? 42. And I would do 42 minus 26, and I would end up with 16. So 42 is 16 greater than 26. Is everybody with me on that? Last one, and then we'll start our practice for the day. Okay. It says write and solve an equation for each problem. 43 is how much greater than 27? What would that look like? 43 is how much greater than 27? What?
43 and 27.
So would I do it like this? 43 minus 27 equals, I'm just going to put an X because I don't know what that equals. Does that look right to everybody?
You can't
Do y'all think that would work?
No. You have to put it like top to the bottom. It would equal, what is it? No, 16.
But does that equation make sense though, is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I took 43 and I subtracted 27, I would be left with how much greater 43 is than 27. Does that make sense? This is the questions I want you to ask yourself when you're writing these things down, trying to figure them out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it for sure does. Okay, so I'm going to solve this, and I'm going to do 43 minus 27 over here off to the side. And what's 13 minus 7?
6.
Uh-huh. And what's 3 minus 2?
1.
Yeah. So then it would be 16 equals my unknown that I filled in there. Could I put in like an M where X is?
Yeah.
Could I put in a C or a T?
Anything.
Anything. It's just a letter that represents some number that I have to figure out, right? So it can be any letter. Okay, let's look at the next one. Maricela has 42 CDs. Frank has 22 CDs. How many fewer CDs does Frank have? Okay, how's this going to look? What's this look like? Okay, say it again. 42 minus 22 equals T, okay? So then how do I solve that? I just do 42 minus 22, which is how much? 20. So 20 equals T. All right, last one. Caesar has 53 shells. Juanita has 95. How many more shells did Juanita have? No, how do I write the equation first? 95 minus 53 equals, let's use N for number. It equals a number. I don't know what number, but I'm going to solve for it in just a second. So what do I do? 95 minus 53. And what do I have? 42. So N equals 42. Okay, does this make sense?
Yes. We do one more just for fun.
Well, that would take away time from your practice, but I'm happy to. I can make one up.
No. Can I make one up? I want to make one up. I want to make one up.
Okay. Let's see. Beck has 23 erasable pens.
Yeah, that's actually kind of true.
But Lena has 15. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Beck has, what did I say?
23.
23 pens. Lena has 7 fewer than Beck. So how many pens does Lena have? So what do I do? How do I write this equation?
23 minus
Equals N. And then what do I do?
23 minus
23 minus 7, which is how many? How many does Lena have? 16. Very good. Okay. All right. You guys are going to get your practice page in just a second. It starts on page 213 through 216. Please show all necessary work. You've got to show your work, please.